Okay. So here we go with my social media audit project. I decided to do it on Spotify, which is a Swedish company founded in 2006. Okay, first things, the social platforms that they use. So it's kind of hard to find this specifically because Spotify is not like it's more of like a platform people use. It doesn't really advertise on other platforms, but it does use Instagram, X, which is formerly Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. Um, and some notes for these ones is Instagram. You can connect your account to Spotify directly, which then makes it really easy to have just like an add to library feature for any of the posts, so you can just like directly find the music and just bring it to Spotify, or vice versa. So it is really like convenient in that they work hand in hand together very well. X is a little different. X has this feature called DJX, which is actually a feature in the Spotify app, which is like an AI DJ, which uses like your previously liked songs and stuff and puts it onto a track that like is like a virtual DJ, so they're playing what they think you would like. And then TikTok has the add to Spotify button, which is really good because TikTok, like, viral music fuels TikTok and viral music fuels Spotify streams, so they just go hand in hand easily when you can just add to Spotify, right? Like, it's where you click the little arrow and then Spotify is one of the top things to pull up. So they just all kind of like work together because the music industry trickles into a lot of other industries. Then Spotify uses consumer-based marketing, which is, I think, works very well for their brand specifically. Some things being hyper-personalization, so they use a lot of algorithms to handpick the certain music to give to you, like via your tracks or just like your daily mixes and stuff like that. They try to tailor everything specifically to the person, so that they feel more, engaged in the app because it's showing them what they want to see. Another thing is the freemium model, which is that you can use the app free. It just has like stipulations like you're gonna run into ads that are gonna play in between your songs, or you're gonna have you can only skip songs like 6 times within the hour. So then that limits like how much you can really roam on the app. And then lastly, which is probably most importantly, is Spotify Wrapped, which is a specific thing to Spotify, which logs all your statistics for your use of Spotify throughout the year, and then it shows you like all the statistics in like a very cute and fun, organized like content way. And it just makes for more engagement with people. I'll get more into that because it'll come in like later on in the presentation, but also people that use Spotify and are typically like following it are 18 to 34, which I think is true for the statistic, but I also do think that a lot of younger people are using Spotify as well below 18, because I remember like a lot of my friends and stuff before we even graduated high school were using Spotify, so I wouldn't doubt that it still is like it goes younger than that. Then we go to what the posts consist of. So Spotify doesn't directly post on other social media platforms, but it does have posts within its own thing. So it mostly does posts on like new music drops, so it'll just say like new music for you, or they'll have like discover weekly, like certain things that will just highlight people that are releasing music so that it can get more out into the open. So they'll usually have like specific boxes that have like the name of the artist and then their new song, and it'll just say new. It also has podcasts on it. I'm not too familiar with this type of content because I'm not really a big podcast person. But I do know that there are quite a bit of podcasts, and they do vary in terms of what they're talking about. But and then what I would think would be the most important post, because I just feel like this is kind of like what everybody looks forward to at the end of the year, is Spotify Wrapped, because then they have it just shows you all of your statistics, so you can easily share it to your friends and stuff, so you can just like compare and contrast like your music taste versus theirs. So it just is a really fun way to, like, I don't know, show your engagement and have like everything like put into like statistics, but in like a fun way. So I think that that post is like very, very helpful to differentiate it from other apps. And now I think the question was, is it like, are these posts like are they good to be, I guess, being posted? Like, do they have reason to be posted? And I think it's always subjective of whether something is like correct to be posted, but I do think that like it is good that they're posting artists' new music, so we could just like promote them even more and not just the same people's stuff. I also do think that sorry, the new music drops, and then the Spotify Wrapped. I think that just helps with bringing people together. So I don't think it can necessarily be a bad thing that it's just showing your music taste in numbers and easy, like, cute colors. So I think that like it does the right thing for what it needs to do. Does it do more and go above and beyond? No, it does not. It really is just like a song streaming app, so I wouldn't really push it to do that. And then updates as of so far. They're transitioning to a lot of vertical video feeds, so they changed the homepage to kind of just be vertical video, and I think that is just because short form content and vertical video kind of go hand in hand, especially since like TikTok, Instagram, X are all using like typically scrolling on your phone functions, so they kind of just transitioned to that just for simplicity and ease. And then another thing which isn't really good, but they're just like upping prices for everything. Like Spotify Premium, even though I have like the student discount, I think it did go up like $2. So like I'm paying like $7 for Spotify Premium, when like prior years I would be paying like $5. So that is kind of sad that you know, they're upping prices, but you know, it's 2026. I guess it's just what everybody's doing. And then tactics and competitors. So the tactics of Spotify, typically, yeah, I already said Spotify Wrapped. It just draws people in. Personalized playlists. It will have like daily mix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've seen all the way up to 5. It'll just have these different genres of music, but like smacking them all into one playlist, and just to see if you like it or not. And then they constantly alter it out every day. They generate new ones, so you're really kind of kept with fresh stuff all the time. Social sharing integration, like with everything else that I said, it just like it's really easy to just go from one app to Spotify and Spotify back to that app, and just like share the music like via both. So it's just easy to do. And then cultural relevance and trends, it does try to follow cultural relevance. It'll have certain playlists which will be like named like maybe like an astrology something, or it'll have other things that are just like themed on typically what's like more prominent and people are on people's minds. And then audio visual to enhance immersion. So it'll have the song playing, but it'll have like maybe like a 15-second clip that's like a loop clip, so it'll just go into a loop and you won't really be able to notice that it's the same clip playing over again until you watch it maybe a few times. But it kind of just helps with like the immersion of the app. I mean, of like when you're listening to music, you can watch the video and it might give you a different feeling and emotion when you watch the video with it. The competitors, from what I could find, they're specifically doing was bundling. So Spotify doesn't really do that. Spotify has like discount plans, but they're not really bundled with anything. Like YouTube Music will give you ad-free YouTube, while like Amazon Music will give you Amazon Prime as well. So they don't really do like a bundle in that sense. The other competitor stuff that is different is that they usually have higher audio quality in their apps, which I think is what they try to like target to differentiate themselves from Spotify, because Spotify really is like kind of a monopoly. Like it monopolizes on a very, like, I feel like Apple Music and Spotify and Amazon Music are like and YouTube Music to a degree are kind of like have a grip on the song streaming community, when there's a lot more companies that try to go with the higher quality audio quality route to just get more niche themselves. And then better artist compensations. Yeah, so Spotify does like a per stream of the song basis, but it really just doesn't amount to much money, and it's the amount of money that they're getting from the subscriptions is not really trickling down to the artists. So that's kind of another thing with other apps, is that they pay more to their artists than Spotify does. And then thank you, that is the end of it. I'm sorry if like you couldn't really see this. I'm trying to get this in on time. I'm gonna literally submit it right now, but thank you.